everything that we have watched, every past 20 videos that we have watched in this DreamWorks Mort theory, it all comes down to this: the penultimate start of the 3 theories that will probably blow my fucking mind. DreamWorks, the Mort theory, just got real intense. Part 21. Now, y'all have been waiting patiently. Y'all have been just waiting for me to react to this one. Y'all have been waiting. Y'all have been gassing this up too. Y'all been saying that parts 21, 22, and 23 are the fucking best. Y'all are gassing these up. And I'm sitting here like, okay, they're gonna be good, but I mean, how are they gonna blow my mind? Because that's what it all comes down to. It all comes down to, how will these blow my fucking mind apart? And I hope they do. I hope we get a similar issue with the baby Smitty theory, where my mind was blown to a million pieces. I think it's gonna be like that, but we have 3 videos of mind-blowing stuff to go through. I have my water. I will need it. I will definitely need it for this video. Without further ado, Mort Theory, Part 21. Oh shit. Oh god. What is this? That's actually fucking terrifying. What am I getting myself into?
You're not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. Nobody can possibly be ready for this. I have never before created a video like the one you are about to see. This is part 21 of my theory on
It's a bit low.
Madagascar. If you haven't seen parts 1 through 20 yet, I will link the playlist above now.
I've
Or you
watched
could
them.
keep watching this one unprepared, which would be, well, certainly an experience of some sort. Basically, there are 6 theories on Mort himself, then my 8 theories on the lore of Shrek,
Yeah.
then my theory on the humans of Madagascar, and
Yeah.
my theory on the film Over the Hedge. This left us at part 17 back in February, where
We've
I
watched all of these.
revealed the purpose of all this. The cute little lemur from Madagascar is at the center of a massive, shocking truth interwoven through every single DreamWorks film. It is not a joke in the slightest, and it's absolutely unlike anything. Part 17 was manic, but it was just a taste of this video. This video being the stuff you've been waiting for. You'll see that I did in fact end up adding my 3 Megamind videos to the playlist. They are critical, and thus we've been bumped up to part 21, basically. Have you seen them? Good. Because last we spoke, I revealed to you my prime discovery, the French pattern.
Yeah,
Now
of course.
It's time to solve
French.
the truth of this pattern. This.
The French is all... The French is the center of everything. There's fucking... the French animal exterminator pattern going on in these DreamWorks movies. And what the fuck is going on with them? I don't know. Let's see how all of this ties into each other. Now every single DreamWorks movie is connected to this one small, psychotic, eldritch, Lovecraftian entity known as Mort.
Is my grand unifying DreamWorks theory.
Grand unifying. We still have 2 parts to go, bitch. So, it's not grand unifying, but... may damn near be close.
Hello, I'm the Theorizer.
Hi.
I like mystery, history, and long walks on the omniversal fabric. I also like roasting Lovecraftian demons on skewers, or so my
I still have to watch the
desperation
TV theory.
would imply. So we're currently at around the 5-hour and 15-minute mark of this Mort playlist, and things can finally get interesting. I'll have you know that I've reached the point of being, well, just speechless. Tenfold more than I was even in that alien cult video, because things are finally getting real. Commenters delivered a lot of nifty stuff, a lot of stuff I've been hinting at for this video, but a lot of stuff that has completely slipped my
Hold on. No.
mind as well. There were even a couple things I didn't register until I found them autonomously, but for the key ones that go to commenters, I will credit it as such.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there were lots of repeat points, so I'm not sure who to credit with what and when. We'll see how the evidence plays out, but luckily most of this is just the culmination of my years of foreshadowing, because it once again appears as though I have stumbled upon something horrifying, and this time, something that permeates through all of DreamWorks. Time to explain myself. I have been referencing something, building to something.
The French.
Freelance organization funded by the gods.
Yeah, the French organization, the Sky Gods from all Hercules and Madagascar. What does all of this have to do with?
That seeks to suppress animal intelligence, and more importantly, the core of them all, the faceless being of destruction, Mort himself. This video is going to have far more offhand revelations than usual, which is to say that there will be many game-changing twists here that I will not dwell on, but hope you will wrap your head around as quickly as possible. So we can quickly start off with the gigantic titan snail that the Bell Gods worship.
Of course.
As it turns out, this crazy development from All Hail King Julian is explicitly connected to both Turbo and Monsters vs. Aliens.
I mean, yeah, makes perfect sense. I mean, big fucking snail. I mean, snails from Turbo. And we've seen that supernatural things can cause things to grow in size, which is a giantress, whatever her name is, grew to a massive size because of something otherworldly. Sky gods, maybe? Like, sky gods interacting with communities to create massive things. It makes sense already. We're already 3 minutes and 38 seconds in, and it already makes sense that this snail is connected to both Turbo, which is a snail movie, and Monsters vs. Aliens, which is a movie about someone growing massive in size. This is already getting insane, and we're not even, like, to the good shit, I think. But I'm already like, whew!
Revelation I exhumed in tandem with a viewer on Twitter. You see, last time I deemed Monsters vs. Aliens to be a critical chunk in the DreamWorks timeline, given how it displays the issues of forced evolution in humanity.
It is.
It contains such important developments as the missing link, or the attempted creation of a sentient entity, or the mutation of insects, and Susan. The implication is that humans are on a sort of path, trying, intentionally and not, to force evolve themselves unnaturally.
Of course.
The results are problematic. Beings like Dr. Cockroach doing
Would that mean that Susan's mutation was on purpose? If they're like forcefully mutating themselves, what's to say that Susan's mutation wasn't an accident? Because in the movie, it does look like an accident. She gets hit by a meteor and then all of a sudden grows to a massive size. What's to say that that meteor that hit her was natural and an accident? Food for thought. That is very interesting. Super interesting, even. Fucking wow. I knew what I was getting into when you guys were gassing this up, saying that it was going to be cool, but I mean, I'm just going to shut up and play the video.
He does, failing like he fails. This is the Monsters vs. Aliens piece. The Turbo piece, however, is something we went into a bit deeper last time. In Turbo, the plotline is basically a French race car driver facing off against snails.
Yeah, what the fucking race car driver?
Intelligence is the snails, and he is the faceless organization's representative in said film. Pause quickly. I will hereby stop referring to this faceless organization as a faceless organization for many, months now on Twitter and on my second channel, and to myself, I have referred to them as what they are. The France-established exterminator terminators. Why do I call them this? Because it's what they are, damn it. But it's a long title, so I've just been calling them by their acronym, FEET, because they are Mort's weakness. Oh, my goosebumps have...
Wait a minute. The feet. The feet. The feet. The fucking feet. That's why. That's. They're fucking Mort's weakness because he likes feet. Mort is obsessed with feet. Mort's obsessed with feet. The reason he calls them feet is because of Mort's weakness. These French animal exterminators are Mort's fucking weakness. Ha! Ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Hon hon wee wee even.
Goosebumps. Have I outdone myself?
No, not really.
Alright, so Guy Gagné is a part of the FEET organization,
Yeah.
very obviously, very clearly. And on Twitter, me and user at
Going to the only issue scaling on large for lemurs, but the way it's implied is he's giant compared to humans. Nuclear mutation is also a subplot of All Hail King Julian, where a Mangle turns into an all-knowing eldritch beast in the vein of the Heaven Fruits. The scaling borders on negligible given the often flimsy logic in the area, but more importantly, the hyper-specificity of an oxymoronic gastropod. My brain.
Doom for Zombies had an
My
enlightening
fucking brain.
conversation about the nature of oxymoronic gastropods, and I'm not talking about Gary. Not today, anyway. There's something here. Do you see the connection? The French eat snails.
Yeah.
This is a critical plot point.
The French eat snails. Snails pertain to fucking stuff in Malachi and Julian and stuff like that with the snails and shit. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking wild. Turbo and Madagascar are connected, or at least Turbo and All Hail King Julian are, at least somewhat connected. That and, you know, Over the Hedge with Joanne LaFontaine, Madagascar with fucking Dubois going on in this bitch.
Seen everywhere, most notably in All Hail King Julian.
It's always the
Heard
French.
That the world's most intelligent snails have departed to Madagascar so as to evade French cuisine.
It's always the French.
Fascinatingly specific. Here's the big one, though. At the very end of Monsters vs. Aliens, we get another one of those pesky offhand comments. This time, it's from the General. The General's existence is identical to the idea of a secret international organization revolving around the assimilation of evolved humans. That's literally the plot of the film.
The General's
His offhand
French.
comment. That's what gets me, though. The General ends the movie by saying he needs the monsters on another mission already, and guess what that mission is? Taking down a giant snail named Escargantua. This is...
You mean to tell me that at the end of Monsters vs. Aliens, they reference the fucking huge snail from All Hail King Julian? Yeah, makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. It makes so much sense. Why? Fucking why? Why? Just why? Jesus Christ. Feels like my brain's already like leaking out of my ears.
exactly like Jingle Jangle. And can you guess where this is happening? Can you possibly, for the life of you, guess where this giant, force-evolved, mutated snail is wreaking havoc?
San Francisco.
France. Nuclear mutation is also a subplot of All Hail King Julian in the episode where they mutate the mango into literally becoming a conscious Lovecraftian beast that absorbs people, and then they nuke it to pieces. Mutation, Lovecraft beast, mango. Just like the Sky God fruits. All of these plot threads and a couple more are so entangled with every DreamWorks film that it's quite frightening, actually. So maybe we shouldn't be letting Madagascar off the hook so easy. Is there more to its core I've been missing, perhaps? times. As I determined in my traumatic viewing of All Hail King Julian, the sky gods are localized to Madagascar because of most likely Mort. There's little doubt in my mind that this is the case, of course. The fruits reign supreme over the sky gods' heaven because they are them. This was one.
Yeah, the fruits are the sky gods, right? Aren't they, like, didn't we prove that the fruits are indeed the sky gods that, the said sky gods that they reference all the time in the fucking show? I mean, we've known that the fruits are the sky gods. Like, we know. We fucking know.
One of several conclusions during my original 6 Mort videos. They are keeping tabs and have pinned Mort here so as to gain the upper hand. A small leap in any other canon, but a graceful stepping stone here. I have great reason to believe that one of the main reasons Madagascar has evolved differently than the rest of the world, why it has profoundly unique wildlife, being the only place in the entire world to have lemurs in it, is because of the sky gods. I'm telling you, they're doing this. It's the way DreamWorks has unfolded the lore in their story. Clever as all hell, it roots back to Mort. As smart Mort is aware of the sky gods, Mort knows, and parts of him are unruly, hence this whole—
Wait, that's right! Smart Mort does know the sky gods. Oh no. Please don't ruin this, computer. Please don't fucking ruin this recording, please. Already 16 minutes in and I'm already fucking losing my mind.
mess in the first place, Mordecai Khan, anyone? Suppression. But the big question, how do the French tie into all this? How does this organization that is so desperate to stop animal intelligence, how do they play into all this? It's quite simple, really. If you haven't guessed, they are aligned with the sky gods, I'm certain. But now we know it must have even more weight than previously anticipated, because we see humans in All Hail King Julian studying Mort.
Yeah.
They rip him from his habitat and come back night after night, analyzing him. He is genetically anomalous, which is to say he is without a species, or rather, that Mort is every species at once, evenly distributing his intelligence so he can return to form with an army of his own.
Why is my computer doing this?
This is why they wear freaking hazmat suits for a tiny-ass mouse lemur. We've been over this. Scientists can't classify him. His genetics are alien. Mort states this in show. This is known. But now we're on the receiving end of the theorizing. This human angle. They're all tied in here just as hard, and if you don't believe me, get a load of Madagascar's official national language, French, spoken only in tandem with the native language, Malagasy.
Madagascar's native language is French. Native language is French. Makes sense to me. Makes
See, they speak French because Madagascar was...
Are you kidding me? Oof. If my computer continues doing this, I won't be able to record this. I might be able to see what the fuck is going on here if I just open up a video. I'm recording in one. I'm recording in that.
Colonized by France itself. And if you still don't believe me, get this. The penguins, who I determined to be on the forefront of this war for animal intelligence, end the third film by shipping the Theat organization's very own lead general to Madagascar itself. Dubois, in a box sent to the front lines.
Yeah.
The snails and their exodus from enemy territory, jingle jangle the mutation angle, the linchpin is that every time humans rise up, there's an animal just waiting there to stop them with utmost desperation.
Okay, there it is
and
again.
underhandedness. Each keeps the other in place, and they're so desperate. My God. One are physically powerful, one are mentally powerful, and the war is nested in the overlap. An overlap established and maintained by the true forces in this game, Mort and the Sky Gods. This is what I've been trying to say. The France established exterminator terminators have been desensitized into believing that Mort is the ultimate threat. I bet they've been promised immortality. How do I know this? His name is Death, for he is Mort, the Lemur. You were all hung up on the fact that he's the Grim Reaper, but not the fact that I keep repeating, which is that Mort means death in French. All Romance languages have a similar sounding origin word, so it has to be one of them, and while Latin is classically cooler sounding, we now know that not to be the case. I keep mentioning this, although thank you commenters for stating it even clearer, as many of you ended up independently concurring. They call him Mort, for he is death, the great Grim Reaper that claims them all, the promised evil. As for whether the Sky Gods can genuinely prescribe immortality, I do not know, I do not care. The Feet organization seems to believe it with all their might. Let's not forget, of course, that Nana is also a part of all this, as is her infamous link to Dubois that I was trying to figure out.
Nana and Dubois are linked. I mean, we've known that. We've watched his other theory that I lost my fucking mind on. Dubois and Nana are linked. They must have, like, trained together or something, or they're related. Because he tried to make the link that Nana's sister dated Dubois' dad and birthed Dubois.
But for 3 years following that video I made in 2018 on them, this is it. Nana is Russian, a recurring theme in the spin-off show, Oligarch Dolphins, anyone? Remember in part 1 when I said, speaking of the Soviet Union? This is it. The skills, the madness, the Nana. She's not explicitly French, which is why that video's whole purpose was to serve this link. Force evolved exterminator terminators is more like it, though I'd rather stick to the term I've got already, as I found the French connection to be far more critical here. So Madagascar as an island is also a crucial factor here. With that in mind, let's apply our newfound knowledge to the Shrek videos, where we find many candidates with similar motivations, traits, and pattern clicking. Lord Farquaad, for one, fits the bill in at least some ways. Once again, this was something I kind of was iffy on, but commenters, as usual, have bulldozed it into view. The top comment regarding this contained a reply that solidifies Farquaad even harder.
The entire kingdom of Farquaad was shrunk to suppress fairy tale characters, and the kingdom has a French name. So you're telling me that Shrek is now part of this big... I mean, we knew that it was part of this big theory, but I mean...
Harder, as Duloc does seem indeed to be named after a former Quebec city, or in other words, French connection. But the main fact of the matter is that Farquaad's task is literally to eliminate highly evolved intelligent life, and we know that he's not the only purist in this series because the fairy godmother follows suit and has magic, supernatural forces granted to her by who exactly? Unclear. The gods, perhaps? This much we cannot know for certain, but if it is the case, then it's most certainly the baby stages of this whole conspiracy. Let's not forget one of my most insane videos,
the trumpet one!
Which concluded that Merlin and the fairy godmother possibly have an intricate connection between them in the form of a musical meme cult designed to usurp the royals. A cult, you say, sounds kind of like the medieval beginnings of an organization. Remember how I said Robin Hood looked like Reggie and Farquaad?
Yeah.
Robin Hood, the musical man who was so underhandedly desperate to eliminate Shrek, the intelligent evolved animal. Robin Hood, who they for some fucking reason chose to make French.
You fucking kidding me? You're fucking joking me, dude. I want him to look through every fucking DreamWorks movie and see if there's a French connection anywhere. How to Train Your Dragon. Does that have a French connection? I mean, it kind of does. Humans aren't naturally, like, forcing dragons to be their pets and stuff like that, and it's the reverse of what's been happening later on here. Is there anything French about that? Hiccup's name, not French, is Stoutland French. Scotland. I don't even know what that means. It's How to Train Your Dragon French. It's fucking... DreamWorks. Fucking DreamWorks. Fucking DreamWorks. Is Shark Tale DreamWorks? Is Shark Tale DreamWorks? Is Shark Tale a DreamWorks movie? Hold on. Shark Tale's a fucking DreamWorks movie. God damn it. God damn it, dude. What's in that movie? What do we need to look for in that movie? God. Oh my god. This may be over an hour long. This video may be over an hour long. This may be longer than my, fucking Mort. Than any of the previous 6 Mort fucks.
What? What? Oh no. This means Reggie blared his unbridled snark, as I put it, out of mockery from his disdain at an intelligent beast rising to power, not just because of the monarchy. Also, Charming did the exact same thing when he recruited villains in a cult of his own, one of whom was the evil queen who wanted to open up a spa
in France.
And did you sincerely think I forgot that insane Puss in Boots cameo?
Yeah, Puss in Boots.
King Julian? No. How is this possible if not for the anomalous space and time I have now theorized this island of Madagascar to have? Barring Mort's own interdimensional hyperrealism stunt, this island is reaching and yanking the most intelligent medieval feline threat into its modern battles, similarly to how Reggie was granted a song from the future. And what is Puss in Boots
I really hope
doing
that this
here?
entire thing
Singing.
records.
Song. Counter forces from the gods themselves. As it turns out, the sky gods also have distinct incarnations appearing in the Puss in Boots spin-off show, at least according to commenter Daniel Adams, who seems to be completely...
I really hope that this whole thing records correctly, and it doesn't cut off randomly, because I want this full video to go out. I want the full video to go out, so hopefully this doesn't cut out randomly.
Correct, if Google is any...
Hopefully the end doesn't cut out.
After reading even more of these comments
I'm gonna
on
check.
the Alien Cult video, I've been tempted to include Aardman Animation's films because the comment section was most filled with them above all else. You see, despite being claymation and very questionably canon, they are riddled to the core with this shit. French frogs spiteful towards humanity and a literal secret underground society with intelligence...
Flushed away. Flushed away. Flushed away. Flushed away. Flushed away. Flushed away. Away flushed. Flushed away. You mean to tell me? You mean to tell me that Flushed Away is also a part of snails? Fucking snails. Singing snails. Singing snails. Singing snails aren't flushed away. The singing snails. Singing snails. I'm losing it. I'm fucking losing it. I am losing my goddamn mind, and we're only on part 21 of this, by the way. We are only on part 21, and I'm 28 minutes into this recording, and we're halfway done with the video.
Snails? Check. Chicken Run is the distilled incarnation of my inverted linchpin? Double check.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, thanks to 6 different commenters, it turns out that my lazy hunch was on point, as yes, the B-movie lawyer Montgomery also has a name rooted in French. So there's that connection. But speaking of that enigmatic part,
you guys told me about the
I
French
forgot
lawyer
about said alien cult's alien role in all this. So now things are taken a step yet further. We get to the Megamind and Galaxar segments. The promise of a thumbnail 4 months past due. The key connection I was implying near the end of that video has reached its moment, and it's why I've added the Megamind theories to our playlist. Megamind himself is from a solar system with 3 planets.
Yes.
Metromans and a mysterious third planet that I deem to be minions. This could well and
The minion
truly
planet.
be false, because look at the obvious. We're going all out now, and Galaxar is on the table. Here we have a bluish alien with a massive head, whose planet was destroyed in a cataclysmic event of his own creation. Let's also not ignore the fact that Monsters vs. Aliens was released just 1 year before Megamind, and thus I'm inclined to say that Galaxar did this.
Well, that was ultimately impossible. My point is that does likely connect.
That's just how the Megamind planet theory ties in. Take a gander at my city theory, wherein the government meticulously subdues aliens so as to keep them fighting one another.
Monsters vs.
Sound
Aliens.
familiar? The humans aren't just facing animals, but aliens as well, as expected, I suppose.
Monsters vs. Aliens. That's isn't that literally the plot of Monsters vs. Aliens? Isn't that literally the plot of Monsters vs. Aliens? Keeping these aliens under wraps so that they can fight each other. Hello? Hello? Where is my marbles? I don't know, I fucking lost all of them. This is crazy. This is insane. This is intense. The title doesn't lie. It's getting intense. It's about to get more intense when we watch parts 22 and 23, where everything just devolves to absolute fucking chaos.
You see, in my Megamind city theory, I concluded that Metroman quit upon the realization that he was being used. This is clear and obvious, and it's the city that is responsible. If you don't believe me that this is the case, then you've clearly forgotten about the result of his midlife crisis, an identity known as Music Man. Music Man. Random, right?
Music Man! From Security Breach, but also because fucking Reggie from Shrek. Fucking music. Music Man. Music Man. Music Man. Reggie from Shrek is a Music Man. Same with Metro Man. He's a Music Man. Or is he part of that cult that Reggie is in? Is he a part of that fucking cult that Reggie is in? Yes,
Wrong. The Sky God's very own musical meme feet cult teachings were instilled into him by this government that's known to be shady from the earliest possible age as a backup plan. How do I know this? Because we see it.
Yeah, we see
He is
it.
encouraged to share his singing in the prison system's school, regardless of whether it's actually good or not. And I'm not even sure what to do with the fact that Metroman and Farquaad look so similar that they've both been memed in the form of Markiplier. Like, it's absolutely insane how similarly they look, but that is much definitely coincidental, I'd say. The alien connection, however, is most certainly not. Aliens are an unforeseen red herring in the eyes of the Feet cult, and this is where Mort ties back in, being the supreme leader of all aliens and animals and anything organic and inhuman, basically. We can confirm this even harder using the massive revelation that I somehow forgot, but the comments certainly didn't, that being the fact that Home, a film about an alien invasion, has the aliens assimilating and setting up their headquarters in Paris.
I never fucking realized that. In all of my times watching Home, which is like 3-4 times, they do. They set up their own fucking Paris. They could have chose anywhere. They could have chose fucking anywhere on Earth to set up shop, to go. They chose Paris. Why did they choose Paris? It's DreamWorks. It's a fucking French connection. It is the motherfucking French connection. It is always the fucking French. I never trusted the French. I'm losing it. I'm fucking losing it, dude. I'm the so fucking losing it.
Stop doing this to me. Stop doing this to me. Stop it right now. I need to cut away from those alien connections before I absolutely lose it. Let's return to my house.
I already fucking lost it.
Films. The penguins fled to Monaco, right?
Yes.
They went undercover with the chimps as a rich human, right?
Yeah.
So they could cheat the system and bankrupt their enemy from the inside. France. The penguins know
fucking
things.
France.
The animals have their own organizations. Look no further than the North Wind itself. How is all of this coming together? How is this? How? I returned to these films to evade the stresses of Megamind and Galaxar. The penguins get ambushed by Alex and friends, which alerts lead commander Captain Dubois to their presence. As
Yes.
she explains, this is the moment she has been preparing for her entire life, as the Sky Gods have prepared her for this film. Mort's entire life story is tracked and monitored by the gods, and this is a huge blow to the Sky Gods. The big threat was discovered and prepared for, so what is this huge threat? Well, it's obvious. It's an all-animal circus that distracts the masses and dominates entertainment outside of all rules and regulations. Killing the catalyst Alex is her life's purpose, and her failure gets her sent to the front lines to be chewed up and spit out like an irrelevant rag doll. Literally chewed up, by the way, as she is sent as...
Sorry guys, that was my mom. Let's get back into the craziness.
sacrificial food, and she knows it. Look at the sheer horror on her face when she reads Madagascar. And who put the nail in her coffin? Who finalized her defeat? Why, it was none other than the nail in everyone's coffin, the Grim Reaper himself.
Mort. Yeah, it was Mort.
This is my point. The Sky Gods are banning death, Mort himself, but is it necessary? We see the lengths they go to, and Dubois willingly sees herself as Satan. It's amazing how everyone in Monaco just knows Dubois. She's famous, and all she is an animal control officer? No. She is the most important character in all of DreamWorks. She's so much more. Whereas a regular officer would be shocked and horrified by this monkey-operated plane vehicle, she expects it. She has no shock at the intelligence of animals because she...
And you guys have told me that Dubois is one of the biggest, pieces in this theory that unlocks everything. And I believe it. I fucking believe it. Dubois is so integral to everything that she is, like Mort, the near center of this entire theory.
Has been preparing for it her entire life. And I'm thrilled because she's probably my favorite DreamWorks character. But here might be the wildest revelation of them all. Who does Julian send after Dubois when she's clinging to them?
Mort. Yeah!
And then they
Mort.
cut her rope while she hangs hundreds of feet in the air, with Mort staring dead in her soul as she falls damn close to death. Look at that grin! Especially compared to Alex's regret. It's like he's the actual devil on his shoulder.
Do it, Alex. Kill her, my child. She is a threat to my empire.
To
God.
the nirvana of oblivion. I know this to be true. This mid-air situation here is Melman's dilemma, and Alex is the protagonist, so of course he's there, but this critical scene dwells on Mort as well. Why? Well, given that he is the protagonist of DreamWorks itself, he is just as primary. It's why Julian kicked him down there. Mort shows off his horrifying grin from All Hail King Julian, a show focused heavily on his creepy behavior.
Yeah.
It was legitimately a freak coincidence that she fell in this pool, by the way.
Yeah.
Alex had no visual behind him, let alone the ability to time this. It's why he showed such glum regret before slicing the rope. The pool is a literal deus ex machina from her gods. Don't believe that she's tied to the supernatural forces? How could you not? Do I need to remind you of the fact that she holds a plane back and can literally run through walls?
No, she's part of supernatural forces. We know that she's part of supernatural forces. 100%. 100 fucking %. 110%. She does things that no human could ever do, unless she was tied to the supernatural god forces that are in All Hail King Julian! The fucking fruit sky gods! The fucking fruit sky gods, they're all in the movies, they all make sense, every single one of them makes fucking sense.
Where I made a video inconclusively calculating it. She's force evolved. Ever notice how she has the head of Alex, the limbs of Marty, the neck of Melman, and the ever-curvaceous bod of Gloria? Dubois, being a perfectly balanced absolute unit, has finally reached lore significance. It finally happened. Dubois has been preparing for this film's plot her entire life, and she is a literal perfect blend of animals.
Forced
just
evolved.
like Mort. A curvaceous counter-strike. For the love of God, the most unshakable proof I can give you that she's magically tethered to the gods is the scene where she literally sings, in French, mind you, and it magically heals all of her troops. They cry as they behold the beauty of the sky god's prodigy, and it's fully French. This scene comes out of left field, makes virtually no sense, has no reason to be included with such drama and profoundness, as if we've just witnessed a rebirth or something. Unless we legitimately have. This is yet another example.
She's part of musical cult.
Don't tell me that French song is not a meme, because it's a prime example. It's a French classic, and this scene reeks of meme material. It's all French. Mort is the target, and he is death. He'll claim the souls of anyone he can. His own team was in a car, hanging over the edge of a damn roof, all terrified, and Mort's just delighted at the prospect of spirits for his collection. Look at that face. Dubois is an evolved, animalistic commander of the organization and is the result of Sky God desperation so intense they've created Satan. We see fire and horns and maybe even the tail during her introduction, and it's possible she has recruited other redheads like Alice. We know she's a step up from law enforcement because she calls the policemen stupid bozos as opposed to her being a step down, like your typical animal control officer. And again, she's bizarrely famous in Monaco. It's her territory, and the monkeys themselves state that French labor laws are different from the rest of the world. I will repeat once more that Alice of the Central Park Zoo is directly tied in here, as she literally calls in secret agencies to suppress the penguins. Officer
She knows.
X is a part of this, thank you to many commenters. The penguins of Madagascar alone borders on canonizing half my claims because its whole focus is animal intelligence up close and personal with aggressive humans out to get them. The Central Park Zoo is a feet outpost, which is exactly why Dubois is so comfortable killing there. But each member has their own place. Some know more than others. Mort is merely the overarching goal, whether one member or another knows it or not. They only have one focus, and it's their own desperation. As Montgomery himself says, following his assault on animal intelligence,
"This is an unholy perversion of the balance of nature, Vince."
By the way, I haven't forgotten about the Verminator Terminator Dwayne LaFontaine himself. This guy, of course, has the same tracking abilities as Dubois, but
He does.
he somehow has access to a weapon so powerful, and he employs it so nonchalantly. It has the ability to create what equates to a supernova, breaks the laws of
He's
Lewis'
part of that
laws,
government.
and there's a reason we get
He's
a
part
view
of
of it
feet.
from outer space itself, the territory of the gods demanding it. This is a supernova blast designed to kill an elder god. Obviously, with Over the Hedge being our original light bulb moment, we also know all about the suburbs, suppressing
Gladys.
forest animals, blah 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 blah, but I would like to highlight that Hammy is granted supernatural powers upon drinking the soda,
He
and
is.
considering he's directly an enemy of the feet, and considering he's also a small rodent-esque animal, I think we might at least have one more semi-solid link between Mort and animal intelligence. This all, of course, just goes to show how expendable the feet are in the eyes of their own gods, like how Dubois was abandoned after her failure and left as sacrificial food.
Yes.
Lastly, in this insane video, is the one that seems to be important but
Kung Fu
refuses to
Panda.
live cleanly. Kung Fu Panda is all about
The universe that presumably takes place after everything that happened in All Hail King Julian, where animals are now doing everything that humans do. Kung Fu, Japanese culture, Chinese culture, stuff like that. Something's French in here.
balance. We discussed
Something is
previously
French.
how it quickly becomes clear upon any amount of theorizing that it must take place in a world without humans
Yeah.
implying post-humans. This is because
After-
again, they use human technology and skills, Kung Fu for example, but it's far more supernatural in nature, and they all speak English in China. If this ties in like I assume it does, then it would imply this is the fallout of some cataclysmic decimation of humanity, the Great Reaping. I don't have nearly as much evidence for this, but I know it's somewhat important, so I'm absolutely going to keep it all in mind. Give me evidence from the Kung Fu Panda TV show. I remember getting a comment on a Kung Fu Panda video a while back, like in 2016, saying that Vern from Over the Hedge is actually Oogway, but I can't possibly comment on whether or not that's the case. I mean, I suppose it's sensible, given that Oogway created Kung Fu and the New World Order, and Over the Hedge's ending indicates that Vern is a key player in the Uprising. But what I can say is that if you have anything to say about any DreamWorks show or films, comment it now. And more specifically, if you have anything from the Penguins of Madagascar TV show that you think can tie into all this, then comment it absolutely, because this just got so much bigger. The big one that you don't have to mention, though, is Vincent, who we saw in the B movie. As a victim of defeat, he was included in the B trial to defeat humanity.
Yes.
That's likely just the cherry on top of our remarkably solid foundation. Anyways, also, many people have asked me over the years, as I have promised over the years, to discuss how Lord Farquaad's ghost works. This is how. As a prime founder of the Feet, he is granted supernatural life extension. Absolute answer. And who kills him? Who has the power to break his spirit?
The dragon.
An intelligent beast, of course. Also, finally looping back to where we started, the Monsters vs. Aliens general claims to be 90 years old. Life extension. And now he's the advisor to President Hathaway. So we're not close to done, obviously. There aren't even like half the DreamWorks films here, and there's still so much more depth to go into here. But this video should more than tie you over, considering this is what it's all been about. This is why I do what I do. Once all the connections are found, and I mean all of them, then I will create the timeline. That will test my plot hole navigation skills. It'll be similar to part 2 of my final Pixar multiverse trilogy, if you've seen it. That's basically the video where I, quote, flatten out the logic of genetics, time frames, surnames, and geographies. I fear the day upon which I will apply that to this, but it's coming. Your comments are more important than ever, though, so don't hesitate. Like the video and definitely subscribe with the bell enabled. This is exhausting to the point where the All Hail King Julian theme song gives me severe goosebumps and makes my stomach sink like the roller coaster it is. I figured my disparate DreamWorks theories would all come together eventually. The same thing naturally happened with my Pixar theories in a mass interconnection extraordinaire. The next part will detail all the intricacies of the twisted evil plans of every other character, and it'll be even more intense. I'm not done proving half the insane shit I pulled out of thin air here either. Until then, I'm the Theorizer.
Hopefully all of that was fucking recorded. Hopefully I did not lose any of that, and hopefully it doesn't cut off, because my god. My fucking god, that was awesome. Holy shit, I lost my damn mind there. And we're not even into the good shit. We're not even into the crazier shit, because we have about 22 and 23 to go. Next video, part 22, where we will see how the Mort theory evolved. Until then, I am Batterhole24.